You notice it at the sink first. Not flames, not ash, just a copper taste in the morning air while the sky looks strangely flat. The fire is hundreds of miles away, but your throat scratches before breakfast, and the open window suddenly feels less like fresh air. That is the new wildfire reality. Smoke is no longer only a problem for people living beside forests or evacuation routes. AirNow puts it plainly. Smoke can travel a long distance from a fire, crossing neighborhoods, cities, and state lines before anyone smells it. Today we are following that smoke. From burning brush to your window seams into one room you can prepare before stores empty. The EPA says wildfire smoke contains fine particles called PM 2.5, plus gases and chemicals that vary depending on what is burning. PM 2.5 means particles smaller than 2.5 micrometers. That size matters because they can move deep into the respiratory tract. Think of your nose as a pretty good screen door. It catches bigger debris, but these particles are the tiny ones that slip through. The EPA links wildfire particle exposure with respiratory and cardiovascular effects through inflammation, oxidative stress, nervous system pathways, and possible particle movement into blood. That sounds abstract until you picture it this way. A distant fire can become a breathing problem before it becomes a visible weather problem. A 2025 Nature Sustainability Study analyzed 1,052 communities across 8 countries and territories, covering wildfire-specific PM 2.5 from 2000 through 2019. For each 1 microgram per cubic meter increase in wildfire-specific PM 2.5, respiratory hospitalization risk was higher across the communities studied. The same study found associations with asthma, COPD, influenza, pneumonia, and all-cause respiratory disease. Association matters here. It does not prove every case came from smoke. Still, the pattern is serious enough to plan around, especially if someone at home has asthma, COPD, heart disease, pregnancy, or outdoor work. And planning does not have to mean panic shopping at the last minute. The best smoke tool may be one bedroom you choose now. The EPA describes a clean room as a room set up to keep smoke and other particles as low as possible during wildfire events. Pick the room before you need it. A smaller bedroom with a door, few drafty gaps, and maybe an attached bathroom is one practical choice. Your goal is simple: less outside air coming in, fewer particles created inside, and steady filtration running while the smoke passes. EPA guidance recommends keeping clean room windows and doors closed and using a portable air cleaner that is properly sized for the room. Here's the part worth doing early. Pause. Buy the filter when the sky is blue, not when everyone smells smoke. The EPA also says portable air cleaners used for wildfire smoke should not produce ozone because ozone can irritate the lungs. Before smoke season, check the room size and the purifier rating. If the device is too small, it may not keep up. If a HEPA purifier fits your budget, that is the cleanest path. But there is a second option people ask about. A DIY box fan filter can be a temporary backup if it is carefully built, watched while running, and never treated like a permanent appliance. EPA cleanroom guidance says central HVAC systems may use a high-efficiency filter, such as MERV 13 or higher, if the system is compatible. That compatibility piece matters. Consider checking your HVAC manual or asking a technician, because a filter that restricts airflow can stress some systems. During smoke events, the EPA says setting the HVAC fan to on rather than auto may improve filtration through the home system. If you have a fresh air intake or window air conditioner, look for recirculation options. The idea is to filter indoor air, not pull smoke inward. Now, the hidden enemy inside a clean room is not always the outdoor smoke. Sometimes it is dinner, candles, or chores. EPA cleanroom guidance recommends avoiding activities that create particles indoors, including smoking, vaping, burning candles, using incense, and some kinds of cooking. On smoky days, consider meals that do not fry or broil. Yogurt with berries, bean salad, chilled noodles, peanut butter toast, or leftovers warmed gently. The EPA also cautions against vacuuming unless the vacuum has a HEPA filter, because ordinary vacuuming can stir particles back into room air. This is not about living perfectly. It is about reducing the biggest indoor particle sources for the few hours or days that matter. The room will not be magic. Door gaps leak. People enter. Pets wander. But cleaner indoor air may still lower your personal exposure. Think of it as a shelter-in-place version of wearing a raincoat. Not perfect dryness. Less soaking. CDC and NIOSH say staying indoors is the best protection during wildfire smoke episodes, unless evacuation becomes necessary. If officials tell you to evacuate, that changes the plan. Softly. A clean room helps during smoke, not during direct fire danger. For the more common smoky sky day, your first job is information. Check conditions before the walk, the run, or the yard work. AirNow's wildfire guidance points people to smoke readiness tools and notes that smoke exposure can change quickly with wind and fire behavior. One approach: make a small smoke kit. Respirators, extra filters, painter's tape, a towel for the door, and shelf-stable meals. CDC NIOSH says a correctly worn NIOSH-approved N95 or P100 respirator can significantly reduce smoke exposure during unavoidable outdoor time. The same guidance says cloth masks, surgical masks, bandanas, and tissues are not designed to seal or filter very small smoke particles. Fit matters. Facial hair, loose straps, or gaps at the nose can turn a good respirator into a disappointing one. Children, some older adults, and people with breathing conditions may not tolerate respirators well. That is another reason indoor air planning matters. When smoke arrives, move activities into the clean room. Sleep there if needed. Keep the purifier running and the door mostly closed. If the room gets hot, balance heat risk with smoke risk. Fans can help circulate indoor air, but avoid pulling outside air in. EPA cleanroom guidance says air conditioners should not bring in outdoor air during smoke events. Recirculation settings may help limit smoke entry. Apartment living adds friction. You may not control the building ventilation, but you can still choose a room, seal obvious gaps, and filter. Renters can consider removable weather stripping, draft stoppers, and talking with building managers about hallway smoke, ventilation settings, and shared filtration. There is also an equity issue here. Clean air costs money, and smoke often hits people who have fewer housing choices. If you have extra resources, consider helping a neighbor find a purifier, replace a filter, or build a temporary DIY unit. The Nature Sustainability Analysis found wildfire-specific PM2.5 associations across Australia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, New Zealand, Vietnam, Thailand, and Taiwan. That global footprint is the point. Smoke is weather now. Not every day, not everywhere, but often enough to deserve a routine. So make the routine boring. Check filters in spring. Replace what expired. Test the purifier. Decide where everyone will sleep. If this episode is useful, a quiet like or subscribe helps more people find practical, evidence-backed health steps before the smoky day arrives. EPA notes that wildfire smoke mixtures change with the fuel burning, temperature, weather, and distance from the fire. That is why smell is a poor measuring tool. Some dangerous particle levels arrive before the air smells dramatic. Use outdoor conditions to decide when to close up early. Waiting until your eyes sting means exposure has already started. EPA health information says PM2.5 can reach the deepest parts of the lungs where gas exchange normally happens. For someone with asthma, that can mean tighter breathing. For someone with heart disease, it may mean extra strain. Individual risk varies. If you have a condition that smoke aggravates, consider asking your clinician what personal action plan makes sense before fire season. Parents can pack a clean room basket, water, books, chargers, medications already prescribed, pet supplies, and quiet activities that do not stir dust. For outdoor workers, one approach is talking early with employers about smoke thresholds, rest breaks, indoor tasks, and NIOSH-approved respirators. CDC NIOSH published 2025 guidance for workers and the public, emphasizing respirator selection, indoor protection, and reducing exposure during smoke episodes. The reassuring part is this: warmly, You do not need to control the sky to improve the air in one room. Tonight, choose the room. Tomorrow, check the purifier or filter plan. This week, place respirators where you can actually find them. If symptoms show up during smoke, like chest pain, severe shortness of breath, confusion, or blue lips, treat that as urgent. This content is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your health routine. Wildfire smoke can make the world feel unpredictable, but preparedness is a way of shrinking the problem to something your hands can do. Close the gaps, run the filter, skip the candle, move dinner away from the frying pan, put the mask by the door. None of that is dramatic. That is why it works as a routine. Small steps, done early, before smoke turns decisions stressful. One bedroom cannot change a fire season, but it can give your lungs a quieter place to spend the worst hours. And sometimes, better health faster starts with a closed door, a clean filter, and the decision to prepare while the air is clear.